And welcome back for some more factoring practice. Practice makes perfect. Again, factoring is reverse distributing. If you can distribute, you can factor. So I'm just going to do a few examples and you're going to finish the rest on your own. So we're starting with D. This here's the two factors, 7 and x minus 3. They're already factors. I would like you to distribute to give me the product. I like to do the box method or the area model where 7 is the width and x and a negative 3 is the length, and 7 times x is 7 times x. And don't forget that subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. You probably need to change all the subtraction signs to adding the oppo to make it a little bit more obnoxious and a little bit more unavoidable. 7 times a negative 3 is a negative 21. I can write my answer like this. Or again, adding the opposite is also subtraction. Subtraction is adding the opposite, and adding the opposite is subtraction. So either answer works. Just want to make sure you recognize that. 7x and a negative 21 or 7x minus 21. Okay, that's enough of what I call going forwards. Let's go backwards now to do the factoring. Here's the product. Let's go backwards. So you know what I'm going to do is, this is the product or the area. I'm going to stick it inside the box. I have a 72t and a positive 8 as my two terms. And then I ask myself, what is the biggest number or letters term that goes into 72t and 8? Think about it. The factors of both. What is the biggest number that goes in? Maybe we should make a list. I'll go off on this side and make the list for this. 72. And remember, we're going to do prime factors. And 8. Factors are the numbers you multiply by to get the, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Let's do factors of 8 because it's faster. What goes into 8? 8's even, so 2 goes in. So if I do 8 divided by 2, my missing factor there is 4. I'm going to write down the 2. 4 is not a prime number, so I'm going to break 4 down into 2 times 2. Now I have all my prime factors. And then 72 is even, so people don't have 72 memorized too well. Let's do 72 divided by 2, okay? 2 goes in. And then I have 36. Well, that's even. So 2 goes into that. And then I got 18. 18's even. So 2 goes into that. And then I have 9. What are the factors of 9? It's 3 times 3. So I want to know, what is the greatest common factor for 8 and 72? What do they share? They have these together, and these together. Well, I have 3 2's, otherwise known as 8. Okay, you're thinking, I didn't really feel like I needed to do all that work, Mrs. Roberts. Okay, but this is pretty foolproof, and it's going to make your life easier. I'll go over what happens if you don't do that on the next example. So 8 is a GCF. I'm going to write that on the side here. There's 2 ways to do this. You can ask yourself, 8 times what is 8? Well, that would be 1. The other way to ask yourself would be 72 divided by 8 is what? Well, if I look over here at my work, here's my 8. 72 divided by 8 leaves me with this, which is 9, and those are turtles, so I must put the T down. This blank space is confusing without the plus sign, so let me put that positive back in here. Final answer is 8 times the quantity NT plus 1. Notice how I write my T curvy. I write my T curvy so it doesn't look like a plus. And it doesn't hurt to go forwards again and check your work. 8 times 9t, 72t. 8 times 1 is 8. There are 2 terms in my answer. There are 2 terms in my parentheses. They must match. Okay, let's see what happens if I'm going to stick with the box Am I sticking with the box method? No, I'm going to do it another way I did it. So, I want to know, what's the GCF of 36 and 72? Now, let's say you don't go and list out everything like I did the last time, and you think of just the 2. Let's say you pull out a 2. So I'm going to divide these by 2. This is showing my work. Instead of doing it on my head, I'm going to do it on the paper. So I'm pulling out a 2. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Zebras. Make sure you write your Z with a line in it so it doesn't get confused with a 2. 72 divided by 2, using my calculator because I don't have these facts memorized, not gonna lie. I use my calculator. It's 36. Now, 2 was a factor, but it wasn't the greatest common factor because there's still another GCF in here. Again, they're both even, so I can pull out another 2. So this 2 is still here, and I'm going to divide by another 2. So if I divide 18 by 2, I get 9z. If I divide 36 by 2, I get 18. Okay, so now this is a 4, but there's a common factor for 9 and 18. So 9 goes into both of these. So I'm going to pull out the 9, add it with my couple friends of 2s over there, my two friends. 9 goes into 9z one time, and then I copy the z. I don't have to write 1 if I don't want to because it has invisibility power, and you should probably be used to it using its invisibility power. So 9z divided by 9 is just z. 9 times 1z is 9z. I'm checking my work, and I'm showing you the different ways to ask yourself how to do this. 9 times what is 18? You can do it that way. Or 18 divided by 9 is what? Okay, so this isn't as simple as I should be writing it. So I'm going to go over here and write the final answer. 2 times 2 is 4, times 9 is 36, is my real GCF. And then z plus 2 is my other factor. So the GCF here was 36. The GCF here was 8. I'm going to tell you a rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is to always try the lowest number you see as the GCF first and see if it works. Okay? Here was the lowest number. It was 8. And guess what the GCF was? It was 8. The lowest number here was 36. And the GCF was 36. I said try it. I didn't say it was going to work all the time. But as a rule of thumb, it works pretty often. Let's look at question D. 144q minus 15. So if I'm going to use my thumb, my rule of thumb, I must see if 15 goes into 144. So I take my calculator. When I say goes in, I want to know if it divides into it. So 144 divided by 15. It has a decimal. Now I can divide by anything, but my goal isn't to get decimals. When I'm factoring, I'm looking to get my whole numbers. So 15 doesn't go in. So I can't do my rule of thumb. I'm going to do my list. It's like HGTV. Love it or list it. We didn't love it. We're listing it. Factors of 144. Okay, it's even. So 2 goes in. This is the easiest way to do it. I'm going to show you the easiest way. So clear out what I got. 144 divided by 2, I get 72. 72 is not prime. It is also even, so I'm going to divide it by another 2. That's even, so I can put another 2 in. That's even. I can do another 2. And then I get 9, which we know is 3 times 3. Look how fast we did prime factorization. All right? And then 15 is 5 times 3, right? So what do I see in common? I got this 3 here and 1 3 here. My GCF for this was just 3. So I'm going to write the 3 down. And you can ask yourself, 3 times what is 144? But I would prefer to do it this way. 144 divided by 3 leaves me with the missing factor of 48. Don't forget that they're q's. 3 times 48q makes 144 q's. And 3 times what makes 15? It's a 5. But don't forget, this is actually a negative 15, so 3 times negative 5. I like to write the minus sign. If you want, you can write plus a negative. They both are equivalent. They both work. Okie dokies. I can do it that way, or I can do it this way. Checking it. There's 144q. There's a negative 15. All right, let's see what we got on this back here. We got some words. That's okay. Not too hard. Let the variables x and y stand for positive integers, and let 2x, 12y, and 8 represent the area of 3 regions in this array. An array is this, like a list. Determine the length and width of the rectangle. Okay? AKA, when I don't, area is length times width. This is my product. These are the factors. Factors are multiplied together, multiplied together to make the product, to make the area. So I'm asking you to factor. All that talk could have just been factor this expression. Now, when you don't see anything in front of the number, is it positive or negative? Positive. So if I put the plus signs here, the other way I could have asked this question with all those words was factor this expression. What is the GCF? What is the one thing that will go into everything? Even, lowest number, rule of thumb. Try the lowest number. 2 goes in. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. 2 is the GCF, so I'm going to write it there. 2 times what is 2x, or 2 divided by 2 is 1 with an x left over. 2 times what is 12y, or 12y cut in half. 2 times what is 8, or 8 divided by 2. I'm going to rewrite the answer. It's 2 times the quantity, because it's a group, 1x plus 6y plus 4. Remember, 1 has invisibility power. I don't have to write it if I don't want to. Okay, so these are the factors. There's this factor for the width and this for the length, or length, width, whichever way you want to look at it. Here's another word problem. A new miniature golf and arcade opened up in town. For convenient ordering, a play package is available to purchase. It includes, sounds like something important's coming up, I'm going to underline it, 2 rounds of golf. And is an important word, don't ignore it. 20 arcade tokens plus $3 off the regular price. There's a group of 6 friends, purchasing this package. Then they're going to tell you what to do like a boss. I'm telling you, use G to represent the cost of a round of golf. Let T represent the cost of a token. Write 2 different expressions. This is what they're telling you. As it would be a question, but it's more of a command. Write 2 different expressions that represent the total that this group spent, and explain how each one describes a situation in a different way. Okay, explain means I have to write words. So there's a lot to do. Let's go back to the beginning and reread. 2 rounds of golf. They told me to write G. And in math means plus. 20 arcade tokens. They told me to use T. Plus means plus. $3 off would not be a positive 3. It would be taking away 3, or a negative 3. And that is a package. So let's package it up in math. Group it together with parentheses. There are a group of means times, 6. I don't have to write the times sign when I have a number right next to the parentheses. 6 of these packages. There's 6 of the packages. There's my words. I'm already starting to explain right now. And what is that equivalent to? Now, old school, I didn't used to draw the boxes. I used to just draw rainbows. The only problem with rainbows is sometimes people forget the negative sign. But let's check it out. If I have 6 of these packages, I've got 6 of these 2 games of golf, otherwise known as 12 games of golf. And 6 of these 20 tokens, well, 6 times 20, 6 times 2 is 12, and then add that 0 on, is 120 tokens. Make sure you mark that T curvy. And then if I get $3 off 6 times, I have taken off $18. And everything I just said, I have to write because they asked me to explain. 6 of the packages is the same as 12 rounds of golf, 120 tokens, and $18 off. And now maybe you think it's a little easier than you thought it was in the beginning. It's really not that bad. If I have to write equivalent expressions, I need to do some math, so I distributed. Okay, check this out. What's the opposite of this? Opposite means you change the sign. The opposite of a negative 6v is a positive 6v, and the opposite of a positive 1 is a negative 1. I can write it minus 1, or I can write plus a negative. It's all good. Do you realize oppo in math is like doing a negation? Oppo, negation, negative. Told me to use the distributive property to write something equal to what I just did. The oppo, this is oppo. It's also called the negating. Negating is negative. And when I go to do this, I like to make the invisible visible. So there's a 1 there. I'm going to draw the box underneath. And when I go to do this, I'm going to get the same answer. Negative 1 times a negative 6 is a positive 6, just like in the last question. And a negative 1 times a positive 1 is a negative 1. So 6v minus 1 or 6v plus a negative 1. They're all the same. Okay, I don't know if I'm doing any more. I'm not. You guys are going to do the rest. And if you need help, raise your hand. This last page here is extra work for the Excel class. But if you want to do it, you can do it. The answer key will be released at 2 p.m. Check it out. Okay. Have a great day. See you next time.